Hi all of you, this is Gil. So today in this video, I'm just gonna be sharing with you guys. It's like something that I had for 40 years. Wow, some of these, wow, like this tape recorder here. This is something that we had when we were kids. Although they're not this tape recorder and this one is not the same apparently. But these cassettes, however, are from 40 years ago. I had these for 40 years to this day. So yes, so I'm gonna share you guys what one of these tapes. I'm gonna play one of these tapes, and I'm probably gonna go post this on YouTube as well. I mean, I'm just gonna play this tape. Well, you know, like this is something that I recorded. Like, that's my dad. You see, these are things that I recorded 40 years ago. Yes, you heard me right, 40 years ago. I mean, these recordings are 40 years old and these cassettes are 40 years old. Yeah, so I mean, I just know the story behind this is like one day when we had a garage sale one day, and I was selling my how we call it, super garage toy that I had. I had this Hot Wheels super garage, and I had a couple of other toys that I was selling. And I sold them all, and I made something like $10 that day on March of 1981. So I made like 10 bucks. And so my mom and my dad went ahead and took me to this store called Best. There was a time when we were living at the 3102 South Townsend Street house. So my dad and my mom took me to Best to buy my tape recorder because I wanted a tape recorder, and it was this one that I bought. It was $29.99 at the time to buy it, and then along the way they got me some cassettes, and these are the original cassettes, by the way. These are the original ones that they had bought me along with this. I mean, it was the Sertron. They were Sertron 45-minute tapes. Although these cases, I don't think they're the original cases, but anyway. Yeah, I mean, they look like this, you know. They're 45-minute tapes. They got me those along the way. And of course with batteries too. So this was something that I got 40 years ago. This is not the same one, of course, but these cassettes, you know, these cassettes are 40 years old. So I'm celebrating their 40th birthday. All of these tapes or most of these cassettes are 40 years old, you know, like this one's 40 years old. Well, this one's 40 years old as well. I mean, all of these, they're 40 years old as of today. I mean, as of this date. You know, all of these covers, I made them. I custom drew these. I mean, I was so into my cassettes in my days. So I custom made all of these covers, you know. When I was a kid who drew all this stuff, you know. And I was only 10 years old when I drew all this. And I got it out of a paper bag, you know, like those like alpha beta paper bags. Because I needed covers, and I decided to draw them, you know, It's like if I was drawing bulletin boards, or I was drawing like those boards that we see on the freeways, you know. I was trying to mimic those. And then of course I was trying to be fancy, you know. So I drew all these when I was young, when I was a kid. This too. Old Voices. This is my very first cassette, by the way. My very first cassette that I ever owned in my entire life. So yeah, I mean, so now the story behind this tape recorder right here. I mean, my brother Hector. I mean, back in February of 1981, Hector received this for his birthday. My mom and my dad went out to Best to buy this for Hector for his birthday. And along the way, they bought him the same cassettes too. So they, Hector, I mean, I know my dad and my mom bought Hector these, like 3 cassettes like this too. It was like, and this was one of them, you know. This was one of Hector's cassettes. Later on, Hector gave it to me, you know. So, anyway, that tape recorder, Hector wanted a tape recorder for his birthday because it was kind of like the trend to own a tape recorder or a radio cassette recorder back in those days, you know. So Hector wanted to go with the trend. Hector was only 12 years old at the time in 1981. So he got this for, my dad bought this, my mom and my dad bought this for Hector for $69.99, I distinctively remember. And that was how much it was. But later on, like a month later, they got me this. My mom and my dad got me this. So, yeah. So yeah, I mean, today, I mean, I just think about it. Today marks about the 40th year anniversary of my cassettes, of my very first cassette that I ever owned, you know, like, yeah. And it's like 40 years that I started on this recording thing, you know, like this cassettes and recording. Yeah, so speaking of the day that I bought this tape recorder back in the day that my dad bought it, it was exactly March 8th, 2000, no, what am I talking about, 2000, March 8th, 1981 is distinctively the day I remember that my dad bought me this tape recorder, my dad and my mom, and everything, yeah. All I could say is that back in those days, like from the time that I first saw the first cassette, I knew it was gonna be me for the rest of my life, you know. I knew that was gonna be me, you know, recording. When I first saw the first cassette and when I first discovered that we can record voices on a cassette, I knew it was gonna be me for the rest of my life, you know. I just know. All I could tell you, I knew that it was gonna be me. So it just somehow, I decided that it was gonna be me, you know. So, and here it is 40 years later, showing you guys these videotapes and even these audio cassettes. I don't really post up audio tapes that much, but I think I should post more up. I have some audio cassettes. I know I had blogged in the 80s, in the early 80s on cassettes. So I should probably do some more of those. I want to go ahead and post one of these cassettes. Probably, I would say probably this one, because I made a video like this last year and I posted this tape up on YouTube. So I'll probably post this one up, you know, like the voices, you know. So yeah, okay. So I hope you liked this video and many more that's gonna come from me. Okay, I'll see you on the next video.
¿Qué haces, Guinguín? Leia, Leia. Remember what I had that the doctor told me to.
That's hurt. Really does.
Es la comida.
Lại bằng con bằng lại với lại
¿Ah? ¿Cómo estás?
Bien.
¿Cómo te llamas?
Gilberto Smith.
Ay, qué bonito se oye mi hijo. Qué bonito. A ver, di otra cosita en español. ¿Eh? ¿Quieres ir a México? No. ¿Quieres ir con tu abuelita? No. ¿Quieres ir con tu tío Alfredo?
Bien.
¿A México? And you like Mexico, mijo?
No.
Why?
I'm no Spanish.
Huh?
I'm no Spanish.
You don't know Spanish? Okay, now. Record it. Okay. Gilberto va a ir a Guadalajara, México. Héctor and Arnold van a irse a Guadalajara el 21 de marzo de 1981.
Ah, qué bonita la meme. Le vuela un chingacho. Le vuela un chingacho, minja, qué buena. Porque chuparle que le manda la gala. Y no pelea allí, pa. Minja, ándale, liga papa. Ándale, liga papa. Liga papa. Papa. Tiene que elegir papa. 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 Tiene que elegir papa, no me voy a pelear la licole. No me pelear la licole.
A ver, otra vez, Gilberto. A ver. Put it back.
Stop.
Imagine it.
You're scratching the cola?
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Scratching the Coca-Cola. Hector, come on, where's one of these things on the record?
It's in here now. I'm recording.
Oh, yeah? Did you want your Coca-Cola, Hector?
La. Le vuela un chingacho. Ay, lo mi. Minja, qué buena. Tiene que lo mi. Liga papa.
¿Quieres la esa?
No, todavía no. Quítate tú de aquí. Voy a enjuagar ya.
Dry your head.
You gonna take shower, Hector? You did? Are you sure?
Tiene frío la niña, Tere.
Are you sure?
Arnold. Yes, you did know. I don't care.
Ok, ya. ¿Te la sacas?
No, pues nomás te iba a dar la de esta. Que no sé cómo la sacas.
Joder.
Okay, stop it.
You made her cry. So